So if you watch this, you're probably a small team. How to reduce budget for your video game if you have like a small budget like 10k or something like that and you want to make a video game, whatever the scope is, whatever the budget is. It could not work in AAA industries or very high and AA industries because it's a bit more complicated in that areas. If you have something like that, contact me, I might help you with some documents. But for small teams, small games, indie games, or even if you were solo and having some nice budget out there to make a video game, how can you reduce the budget cost for your video game so you can spend the less budget with the same quality? The first rule is scope like a sniper, not like a shotgun. Don't make a very big game, of course. Don't try to make an MMORPG game or like a very complicated FPS game like Doom Eternal, for example. Try to scope on a little like a little game that is very polished in its narrative design, in its art, in its gameplay. Try to make games that could be played for a very long time, like a repetitive multiplayer game or a repetitive solo like played game, something like that, because the more playtime you have, the more your game gets new players in Steam because of median playtime and stuff like that. So you want to make something that are like loopable and is in very good polished quality. Small dance is better than big and empty. Always remember this sentence. Modular design. So what's modular design? It's something like procedural design, you could also call it that for some video games. Build Lego blocks that could go together well in a video game rather than building everything in singularity. So everything that I see small devs make, and this is not just for the game that you're making, also for the multiple other games that you're gonna make in the future. So I see this mistake many people and small devs do. Like for example, they don't do an enemy framework or an enemy AI framework. They just do a code for each enemy in the game, and this not also you cannot use it in different projects. It actually harm your project in like optimization methods. And why do it? You can just code one framework and use it for multiple enemies that handles everything. For example, for a 2D game or a 3D game, you could make an enemy framework, a boss framework, or stuff like that. According to the complication level, it might be very complicated to make, might take a month or two, but it's okay. It will take the headache of making the actual DLCs and stuff like that, because it's very easy to like do an inspector rather than making a new code for each enemy you want to make or patch. So this is one of the best ways to make it modulars. For example, one of the things is like character stats. If you are working in a team, not everyone is a coding like or related to coding. So you might want to make your game goes with like CSV file, CVS file, or was it CVS or CSV? I guess CSV. So for CSV files, which are like Excel format or something like that, you want the stats to be something like that already get updated in the code, so it's be very easy to patch the game and change stuff for you. And also it will, because changing it from code takes a lot of time. So you want to make it very modular, not for just 3D assets, not just for code gameplay loops and stuff like that, and like enemy design and different stuff, but also for stats, because this will give you easier patching. Post-production requires a lot of patching for different genres of video games. Some need patching even for over a year, and some for the eternity of the game, just like multiplayer games like Clash Royale, for example, which is still getting updates and patches each day till now. So you want to consider patching in your post-production or pre-production plan for your post-production plan. Also, again, we made a very good episode about pre-production. It has a lot of bullet points that you could rely on. You can watch it in our channel. Do stylized art, not photorealism. The problem, I know many engines like Unreal make it look way easier to make singular models, but making the full world, it takes a lot of effort, and it's actually one of the most hard things to do, is to make like a full photorealism game or hyper-realistic game. So the thing that I usually say you can express even strong emotions, serious emotions, even in video games that are stylized. Look for anime, for example. Of course, don't do anime. It's way like 2D anime games are way worse in production time than 3D games. It takes a lot of time to animate anime. But I'm talking about the example, like look at anime games which have a lot of expression of emotions, yet it's stylized. It's not a serious one. So you could express like emotions that are very hard in your narrative design, because I see many people don't go on that path, stylized path, because they want to make something more serious in narrative design. But no, it's okay. You actually can make a very serious narrative design even in your stylized art. So I would say stylized art is way better than photorealistic stuff or hyperrealistic stuff. I know many engines like Unreal Engine make it look to be done easily for singular models, but it's gonna be a hell in optimization stuff, file management and file structures, and making actually the different models work together. It's an actual hell. I'm working on a photorealistic game or a AA to AAA hyper-realistic graphic game, and it sucks, man. It's one of the hardest thing to do. Even look for Thomas Brush. He's making a game called Twisted Towers, and it sucks for him too. It's one of the hardest things to do in game development. Try to avoid it as much as you can. Use the asset store for tools rather than models. You could use models. To me, in my vertical slices and stuff like that, I usually use pre-made assets either from the other games we did or from the asset store for placeholders, just when we want to make stuff that we actually made and sketch and stuff. We use just placeholders, for example enemy models and stuff like that, just for vertical slicing, just to test out the gameplay and the narrative design, how it will look, our render pipeline and stuff like that. And after that you can remove them, but you can use Unity assets by changing shaders. For example, if you have like an outline or pixelated shader in your game, you can even keep the assets and make them actually fit in your art style or art direction. Some people really refuse to do it only as placeholders, like me. I really don't like it. I just want to use them like placeholders because I love to do the art, everything block by block. It's something out of passion, but you can definitely use your brain in a very imaginative way, use a very smart art direction, and you can actually make the art in asset store, if you choose them wisely, to be similar to your art style and art direction. And definitely go and download tools from asset store. Sometimes the time of making the tool is not very like costive to the compared to the price of the tool. Like for example, Audience Inspector would take you over a year to develop, and you can buy it just for like less than $100. So I would recommend you buying tools that you need for your video game. Minimize cinematics. I know many people even don't do narrative design nowadays, but if you do, minimize cinematics, prioritize the narrative design and the world building, just like Elden Ring. Go play Elden Ring if you saw that your game rely a lot on cinematics. Go now play Elden Ring, only if you have like a very hard story-rich narrative-driven game. One strong polished loop. I know you have the great idea of mixing fucking 5 genres together and think it will work. No, do just one game loop, polish it as fuck as you can, and it's gonna be viral. Doom Eternal, it's just an FPS Go game that you destroy stuff, you rip out monsters, but in a very cool way and actually addicting way, that people are playing Doom Eternal for a very long time. For like years right now. I'm one of the fans of Doom Eternal. Some people play it for a very long time and very enjoy the gameplay, and it's very simple compared to many other video games. Of course, it's like a AA title, but you got the idea. Polish one mechanic, don't add 100 million ideas. One idea, one mechanic, and make all the game about it. So you can polish it, make it small in gameplay, not in like when people want to buy the game, it would not look small because you have like different narrative design, stuff like that, which will actually make your game look very promising. Outsource wisely. You should outsource, you should hire freelancers for like capsules in Steam, music. I know most of you guys are either from art background or programming background, came from programming background, so I understand this. Most of us are not narrative designers, are not art designers, are not musicians, and most of us definitely don't know even how to write a story. You might handle one. For me, I handled how to write a story, how to do everything, but for me, I couldn't do music at all. I suck at making music. I just hire people to make a music for me, so you can outsource, of course. It's amazing. It's an industry. You can always do. You would work in freelancing. People are now working in freelancing. They actually do not take that much. They take very small amount. So it's a very like healthy environment in the freelancing, to be honest, and like pricing for indie devs. So you can ask for a normal price and get a very normal product for your game. So don't be afraid of outsourcing. It's totally okay. If you're just afraid, if your like project is very secretive and stuff like that, and you feel you can't make them, you don't need to like show for multiple people all the files of the game. You can't just show them images and stuff like that. But if they were like on coding or stuff like that, and they were not like working in the team and have the actual source code, you might want to make them sign an NDA or something like that, depending on what things you are more comfortable about. Again, guys, people don't actually give a shit how much you took to develop a game, only if you like made a Kickstarter. So they just see how polished the game is to them when they bought it. So spend a very good time making your video game. Work smart with your budget and time. Time is also a budget, so you want to spend stuff in a very smart way. Prioritize some stuff and neglect some stuff to later. Know what are the pre-production and production and post-production to understand the scale. Definitely watch the other videos. I'm trying to talk in bullet points just for you to go and research stuff after me, so you can understand the full picture. I cannot like explain everything in the gaming industry, but I'm trying to explain most stuff that people neglect and actually don't learn from others. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment, share your ideas and stuff like that. I really try to respond to every comment and discuss things with them. So I would love if you like the video. Definitely drop us a like, a subscribe, and hit that bell button. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.